he's got an ace in his hand most of the time. I think his min bet could be a draw a lot more frequently. He min bets again. This time I decided to raise. I probably should have raised larger. I didn't want to raise very big because I didn't really want to commit myself. I guess if I believe that I have the best hand here, I should just get it in. That would probably be the best play in retrospect. Probably make a pot size raise to about 650, which would leave me, well, yeah, 650 is about half my stack. I probably should have just shoved. And, yeah, he calls. Oh, great. Okay, come on. This thing doesn't work very well. So yeah, he bets, I raise, he calls, turn comes a jack. That's one of the cards that I didn't want to see on the turn. Sorry, the river comes a jack. I didn't want to see a jack on the turn because if he does have a draw, I mean, a lot of stuff gets there. So, if he's just sitting there with a bare 8, it got there, and it would make sense that he's calling with an 8. I don't know. I realized that I gave him the wrong odds. I should have definitely bet more on the turn if he did have an 8. He decides to just bet 1,000 half pot, or no, he decides to pot it, I should say, and I feel like he almost certainly has me beaten here all of the time. I don't think I'm ever ahead, so I just fold. Anyways, last hand, ace king, one limper, UTG, another limper. I raise to 6x. If I was sitting one seat later, I probably would have raised it to 250 instead of 300, but yeah, because I'm not in the hijacker later, I go 4x multiply plus 1 big blind for each limper, so yeah, 300. Button calls, small blind folds, big blind calls, player 4 calls. This is really annoying. This happens a lot on On-Game Network. Limpers don't give much respect to raises, and I mean, people call in position or out of position with some really wacky hands, even when they don't have odds. Like obviously Big Blind and UTG are getting great odds here, so they're not bad, but yeah, anyways. Flop comes trips, and player 3 donk shoves all in. I gave him range and equilator. Player 4 folds. I shoved. I didn't think player 1 was going to be coming in after that after 2 shoves unless he had the absolute lock, like a 5 or aces or kings, and I think those would have raised more than flat called, so I'm fairly certain I'm ahead of player 1. Player 3, he might have 4s or 3s or something like that came in with the good odds, or 7s or 8s. I think 7s or 8s or one of those mid to high pairs is less likely to make this play. I don't see why you would shove jacks full, the 5s full of jacks or 5s full of 10s or anything like that, when I mean you want to get them to catch up. I don't know. I think he's more likely to have a hand that doesn't want to be called. I think it's definitely a bet that doesn't want to be called. Anyways, I put in a range real quick. Ace Jack suited plus. That makes a bit of sense. King Queen suited. Yeah, that might make sense too. Ace Queen off. I mean, I originally gave him Ace Jack off plus and King Queen off. I think that might be a little bit loose, but I mean, I'm basically coin flipping, no matter what. If I think he's less likely to do it with pairs, then I'm doing much better. Let's just get rid of the 8s, and yeah, so it's really flipping. Because of the size of the pot, I don't think I can fold though. If I believe that this is a pretty likely range. Again, I don't think player one's going to come along unless he has a great hand, and I don't see him calling with a 5. I don't see him flat calling with aces or kings, or like maybe jacks or 10s would make sense, but yeah, I don't know. It's a tough spot. I probably should have folded, I guess, because of player one. He might have called with jacks, 10s, 9s. Those are all possibilities, but I think it's more likely that he's gonna fold. So he does end up folding. Player three end up having a ace queen, and yeah, I pulled down a pot. That's okay. It's a bit results oriented though, and it's possible that I should have folded. I should have these hands reviewed. Anyways, yeah, that about concludes it. These things are probably going to end up going a lot longer than I thought they would, which is too bad. I want to keep these really concise. This is hopefully going to be the longest one. I think I'm only going to do 2 hands at a time, and yeah, I'm going to talk less. But it feels good to get my thought process out, because I've actually done this video twice now and deleted it both times, and every time I've got more insight into how I misplayed hands. Like, I should be shoving a lot more, I think. But we'll see. I'm going to get a second opinion from the hand evaluation forums. Anyway, guys, and girls, if there's any out there, have a good evening. This is Jiminy Jerk for Soapbox Wizardry, and it's October 16th. Later.